umaga po mga kaibigan. Welcome to another edition of our program, Wednesday Roundtable at Lido. We'd like to find out how our guests would rate President Rodrigo Duterte's first year in office. Maraming bagay na pag-uusapan. For those people who have read, watched, and listened to the State of the Nation address in July last year, i-compare natin yan doon sa kanyang inaugural speech ngayon, nung nakalipas na June 30. Itong basihan ng ating pag-uusap ngayon. Okay? Marami siyang sinabi. Tulad ng kailangan ang Pangulo ay mayroong suporta ng general public. So the question is, meron pa bang suporta? Yan. Isang issue yan. So today, we're joined by Dr. Aileen Baviera from the UP Asian Center. She will share with us her views on foreign policy, foreign relations. Si Dr. Ronald Mendoza, Dean of the Ateneo School of Government, meron bang gobyernong nakikita ngayon? Si Ginoong Ramon Casiple, Executive Director ng Institute for Political and Economic Reforms, IPER, meron bang political at economic reforms na nangyayari? At sa larangan ng kalakal, kasama natin ang Honorary Chairman ng ECOP, si Ginoong Sergio Ortiz-Luis. So we will start our discussions today with the short statements of our guests on their views on the accomplishments or homework that Mr. Duterte need to do in the next 365 days. Professor Baviera, about foreign policy. It's provided in the Constitution that we ought to have an independent foreign policy. What does that make of President Duterte's emphasis on closer relations with China and that of Russia at medyo backseat ang Amerika?
I suppose in the last year, dahil isang taon pa lang naman, then you could say na definitely malaki yung pagbabago, no, na-introduce pagdating sa foreign policy natin. Una-una, yung pag-pursue nga ng independent foreign policy, this can be interpreted in a number of ways. Now, one is, of course, diversifying partnerships, no, rather than simply depending on one partner or leaning to one side. Then, nagawa naman ng Pangulo yon, no? Nabanggit mo nga, hindi lang sa, of course, China, Russia, Japan, ASEAN, lahat ng mga bansa niya napuntahan na ng Pangulo, at nandiyan pa rin ang US, no? Although sa umpisa, mayroong mga missteps din nung umpisa, no? Na rather than nag-develop ka ng mga bagong partners o kaalyado na antagonize, no? Yung dati nang tumutulong dito, no? So sa independent foreign policy in terms of diversification, nakikita natin, no? Na doon naman yung direksyon, although pwede pang i-refine talaga yung proseso.
Very well. Sa larangan ng pamahalaan sa gobyerno, national at local, nagkaroon ba ng significant change dahilan sa ang local governments ay saklaw, no? Nasusupervise ng DILG na hanggang ngayon wala pang kalihim na masasabi. So ano to, headless chicken ang local government units? Kanya-kanyang kita, kanya-kanyang trabaho? Ano po ba ang inyong pananaw?
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it headless chicken. In fact, we have some good leaders in our DILG. Undersecretary Panadero, for instance, is one of them. I think just in general, in terms of the governance picture for the country, there are some good areas that have progressed. I would specify rice policy, for instance, as one of the areas that potentially they can really correct decades-long problems we've had in our food security policy. If we can fix NFA and if we can fix our rice policy, we can actually reduce a lot of poverty in this single policy alone. So dyan ang leader dyan si Cabinet Secretary June Vasco. And it's not easy. He's fighting vested interests and it hasn't been a straightforward reform. And there still has to be a lot to be done. Pero yung ibang areas actually medyo mixed pa yung signal. Like in the area of infrastructure, there is a tendency to go away from public-private partnerships and to go into heavy government-led, government-financed interventions and projects. This is potentially of concern because the reason why we shifted or I should say, one of the reasons why we shifted to PPPs to begin with is to bring in a different way of financing, operating, building our infrastructure. Now, the shift back to government is concerning a lot of people, particularly in the private sector.
Okay, very well. Mon, coming from IPER, how do you look at the political situation today, considering that there is no credible opposition and you have a supermajority at the House of Representatives composed of men and women who always know which part of the bread has butter? So what does that make of us?
Well, first of all, walang nangyaring kahit informally, no, agreement between the opposition at saka yung Duterte administration after the election. Yung natawag na modus vivendi. So, yung nanonotice mo ngayon, tuloy-tuloy yung election, bakbakan. By other means.
By other means.
Ito yung isang feature niyan. On the other hand, mukhang hindi naman malaking gulo, no, for the administration. Yung sabi mo nga, hindi pa nakabawi yung dating administrasyon, kasi yan yung lumitaw na oposisyon ngayon, sa punto na may kakayahan sila to pose a political problem. Mataas ang level ng support hanggang ngayon. 1 year after, mataas ng popularity rating at yung mga specific programs, even including yung controversial na anti-drug campaign, mataas ang level ng support ng mga tao. And basically, walang nagbago. Those who supported are still the ones who are supporting. The ones who are against him are still the ones who are against him.
But have you seen yung reduction in numbers of those people who oppose him before? Ngayon ay nawawala na.
Well, normal, after a year, na bumababa talaga yan. All presidents, even the past president, Aquino, and ERAP, dumaan dyan na bumababa.
May euphoria kasi, tapos biglang nauwi yung frustration.
Hindi lang yon. Marami na sumuport sa kanya nung nagsimula siya, hindi naman actually bumuto sa kanya. Remember, yung voting percentages dyan, 39%. Magkaroon ka ng popularity rating ng more than 80%. Malaking bahagi nung yung support na yung popular ang support sa iyo, galing sa mga taong hindi bumoto sa iyo. Pero nandun yung expectations, nandun yung mga siguro mga aspirations nila,
Okay. Very well. Mr. Sergio Ortiz-Luis, coming from the business sector, isa sa pinangako ni Pangulong Duterte yung ENDO. How will that impact on ECOP?
Well, actually kasi iba-iba interpretation nung ENDO, no? Ang interpretation ng labor sector sa ENDO, lahat ng all forms of contracting will be taken away, no? Na-invento nga natin dito yung term na wala naman sa diksyonaryo, no? Yung ano yung tawag nila, pero ang talagang, I think, from the very start, ang pinag-uusapan dyan yung 555. Yan talaga sinasabing tatanggalin yung 6 months, 6 or 5 months, 5 months, no? Hindi yung lahat ng all forms of subcontracting. Because sa batas naman natin, even sa ILO, even internationally, talagang ang trend talaga to be competitive is subcontracting, no? And there are those which are allowed under the laws. Hindi po pwedeng tanggalin yun. Doon nagkaroon ng confusion. But even then, let me say, na it causes a lot. You remember that for a while, medyo bumagsak yung employment rates natin, isa sa cause dyan yung companies started adjusting to this subcontracting thing, no? Nag-downsize sila rather than meron din yung mga talagang nag-endo-endo na talagang nagbawas na, like some people say, mga supermarkets, no? But let me say that it's not really something that we should pursue. Dahil at the end of the day, yung hinahabol na yan, it does not create employment. Tagalin mo yung mga subcontracting yan. It does not create employment. It benefits a certain portion of the employment group, no? The employers. Pero alam mo, 42 million ang ating employables nasa labor market. Ang mga humahabol nito, yung organized labor, which is only about 16% of the as a matter of fact, 16% ng 42 million. As a matter of fact, kalahati lang, wala pang kalahati ng 16% na yon ang nasa minimum wage. So, do not be deceived na pagka nagtataas sa minimum wage, nabe-benefit ang lahat ng labor sector. On the contrary, yung informal sector natin, na palaki ng palaki every year, yun ang napipirhuisyo. Ito naman sa kung ang trabaho iisa lang, ang humahanap si Juan at si Pedro, pilitin mo yung wag na yung mag-rotation sila, tanggalin mo yung endo, pag pinerminate mo si Juan, paano na si Pedro?
Bahala na siya sa buhay niya.
Bahala na sa buhay niya. Kaya palaki ng palaki nasa informal sector. Yun naman ang sinasabi natin. Actually, ang masama ron, talagang yung inabuso naman ng mga employers. Kasi hindi binibigay yung benepisyo, kung hindi sila nagiging permanente, hindi binibigay yung benepisyo. Pero at the end of the day, kung i-analyze mo talaga, ang anak lang ba ng Diyos ay yung mga nasa organized labor na siya humahabol yan. O yung iba, paano na yung mga taxi driver, paano na yung mga market vendors, paano na yung mga agriculture workers.
Okay.
Hindi naman nabe-benefita dyan itong mga hinahabol nila.
Very well. How would you react to that, Mon? It has something to do with economics.
Oo, in terms ng issue itself, hindi nagkaroon ng agreement yan. Nagkaroon ng department order, hindi nagkaroon ng agreement. Kaya it's still an issue, yung labor contracting. Pero yung statistics natin actually dyan, hindi stable yung employment picture actually. Bumababa pa nga yung unemployment to a certain extent. Ang malaking factor dyan, yung economic development na nangyari nung last years ni GMA, nagpatuloy sa panahon ni Presidente Aquino, ay nagtuloy-tuloy pa rin. Yung GDP natin, nasa range pa rin ng mga around 6%, pataas. Yung ating ratings from the credit agencies ay na-maintain din, so, isang malaking effect ito nung initial policy kagad na sinabi ni Presidente na hindi niya babaguhin yung current policies na basis nung pag-unlad na yan.
But some people look at it as neoliberal.
Whatever.
Oh,
Pero he doesn't want to rock the boat. Yun yung una niyang Kaya makita mo lately yan doon sa appointment nung bagong governor sa Central Bank. Insider.
Okay.
That means yung continuity ng policy natin sa financial affairs ay generally patuloy.
So magpapatuloy.
Ang titingnan mo ngayon itong build program. At saka may ka-approve pa lang nung 5-year development plan, yung Philippine Development Plan. Kung ano exactly yung implementasyon nito. Kasi bago pa lang Wala pa itong ganong kalaking impact sa economy, pati yung build. Pero kung tingnan mo yung scope, yung laki nung pinaplano, malaking impact nito dapat. Pa-upward sa ating economy.
Okay, thank you. Ronald, yung BBB kasi nung araw, lugar sa may Valenzuela to Nakalagay lang sa jeep to BBB. Ito, build. Do you think this will ever happen in the Philippines?
Well, first of all, let me just agree with Ramon Casiple here that the real solution is not a legal one. It's not even a policy change. It's actually an economic one. We need to generate more jobs in the economy. And our young people will already self-select to the better jobs and move up. Yun ang totoong solusyon dyan. So, ang isa sa mga puwersa ng pag-expand ng economy natin, yung build. The infrastructure plan will probably single-handedly create several million jobs as reported by the Department of Finance, and I believe this kind of a projection. But another issue there is saan ba nila itatayo yung infrastructure? At para saan siya? Kung titingnan lang natin yung ating bansa, most of the jobs are being created in just a few regions. Sabi nga ni Sec RC Balisacan dati, 60% of the country's GDP is only in 3 regions in Luzon. So dapat yung build, hindi nasa Luzon lang. Kailangan nasa rest of the countryside, i-interconnect yung mga regions natin and build more growth centers for the country para hindi lahat kailangan magpunta ng Luzon para magkaroon ng trabaho.
But it's easier said than done. I know of tourist spots in Panglao. I just been there last weekend. Nagbabayad ng kuryente na 500,000 a month because electric power rates in the regions are not that cheap. Number two, they don't have the infrastructure. No? So, magandang sabihin na ilipat natin yung trabaho sa regions. Pero tama kayo, 60% ng GDP, NCR, Calabarzon, and Region 3. Now, how will it impact on moves for federalism? Eh di yung mayayaman lang ang mabubuhay. Paano na kaming mga Bicolano? Paano na yung mga Waray na mahihirap din? Ano nakikita niyo ron?
Well, on that front, mukhang meron namang positive signs. So there is an emphasis, a renewed emphasis on Mindanao. Unfortunately, medyo nagkaroon ng issue because of Marawi. Pero sana hindi yun maging distraction sa patuloy na pagdevelop ng Mindanao. Nandun rin naman yung susi ng kapayapaan sa Mindanao in the future. We need to generate more jobs, jobs that will absorb the young people and that will deplete the capability of these insurgents and other groups to recruit young people into their forces. That's really the long-term or one of the long-term solutions. Of course, the tourism industry, naumpisahan na yan ng last administration, yung tinatawag na last mile infrastructure projects under Secmon Jimenez. Mukha naman ngayon meron pa ring emphasis on that in that direction. Yun ang mga tinatawag na strategic infrastructure investments, hindi yung fini-fritter away yung build into little projects na wala namang nagagawang growth impact. Tigi-tigisa lang yung mga congressman ng pera, pero kung saan nila gagastahin, wala namang coherent strategy underpinning it.
Waiting shed.
Exactly, yung mga ganyan. Mukha namang ngayon, iba yung thinking. So hopefully, yun ang matutuloy. Pero titingnan natin yan kung mapagpapatuloy yan in the next 5 years.
Very well. Ano impact ng ASEAN integration sa atin? Dahilan sa, ang sabi ng ilang mga nagsusuri, yung ASEAN integration, magpapababaan ng sahod yan. Eh di apektado tayo mga Pilipino dahilan sa baka may pumasok na mas mura ang tatanggaping pasahod kaysa binibigay ng mga Pilipino. Ano pong pananaw ninyo?
Medyo matagal pa siguro bago natin makita yung implementation nung yung free flow of labor na sinasabi, no? At kung titingnan mo, merong advantages na ang Pilipino pagdating sa halimbawa yung pagpapadala natin ng labor, especially kung professionals, no, skilled labor sa ilan sa mga bansa ng ASEAN, no? So hindi pa natin siguro makikita na magpapababa ng sahod. Kung matuloy man ito, maari ring na mag-expand ng employment opportunities dun sa region for Filipinos.
For Filipinos.
Oo.
Will that be good for business?
Well, definitely yung investment na talaga kailangan natin, ano? At yung sinasabi nga yung tourism, ako naman na nakikita ko isang maganda rito sa administrasyon na to, yung sinasabi nila, yung ibang biyahe ni Presidente, I do not know. Pero yung sigurado ako yung biyahe sa China, yung biyahe sa na nagdadala nga sa atin ng foreign direct investment ngayon na hindi natin ma-imagine, the money that will come in will never come from the Western world, our former allies before. Not in 10 years siguro yung dadating sa atin in 5 years. Plus, ang nakikita ko, kahit naghahabol tayo sa infrastructure para sa tourism industry natin, yung mga Chinese tourists will flock in. Alam mo, sa Philippine Chamber of Commerce, there is not a month that walang 1 or 2 big delegations. Hindi mga delegation maliit, malalaking mga kumpanya from China that are coming here that are really interested to invest, na naghahanap talaga ng mapupuntahan ng investment nila. At ako, nakikita ko ngayon na yung tourism na coming from the northern China na, hindi na yung typical na nandun lang sa southern China ang dumadating. Ito yung mga may perang dumadating na dito. So I guess konektado sa foreign policy na yung bagong alliances natin bago na discover, plus yung importante yung foreign direct investment. And I do agree, we're a little worried about yung PPP coming from the government, but what can we do? Yung gobyerno, ang daming perang tinatanggap ngayon na gusto nilang gamitin lang dito sa infrastructure, no? So even yung mga jealous yung mga private sector, kaya naghahanap din sila ng mga partners na, and most of them are coming really from China and Japan now. Yun yung mga nangako na magpapadala sa atin ng maraming investment. So, ganoon na mangyayari na. At the end, maglalabanan ngayon yan, mas mauuna sa infra, gobyerno o yung private sector.
But isn't there a downside on the PPPs? Because if the government would entrust utilities to PPPs, then the general public would be at the mercy of private companies who invested.
Well, I do not want to comment on that because double-edged yung issue yan, ano? There are naman good operators, merong ano, but I think ang advantage na nakikita ko rito sa gobyerno natin ngayon, pagdating sa anomaly, maraming pumasok na taong we feel second-raters, ano? Hindi natin kilala, ano, taga-Daboyan, kaklase, ano. But at least at now we're beginning to realize they might not be the best ones that we are talking about like in the past, no? But yung ano sa ano, walang hindi natatakot na sila tatamaan pagka sila gumawa ng kasalanan. Yun ang importante, I think.
All right. So, yung seriousness ng gobyerno on corruption.
Yes, I think. At least yung seriousness ng presidente na walang sasantuhin pagka ikaw gumawa ng masama. So, yun ang palagay kong at least one advantage. Kahit na hindi ganun kagagaling yung mga ano, they're forced to really at least
Give their best. Okay.
Give their best.
Thank you. Would you care to react?
Just a quick point on this. And I agree na mukhang seryoso yung presidente talaga. And yan yung reputation niya sa Davao as a mayor. Ang concern lang namin dito, people like myself who study institutions, paano kung wala na yung presidente? Paano kung tapos na yung administrasyon? Ano yung natayo nyo that will outlast your administration? This is where we then ask deeper questions like ano ba yung philosophy of reform? Ano ba yung game plan nitong administration? Kasi hindi yan pwede lahat dahil sa takot lang. Kailangan may institusyon na mas matagal sa ating lahat na kahit wala na tayo dito, hindi mabubuwag yung tinayo natin. Yun
Okay.
ang ipapamana natin sa kabataan.
So, what you're saying is, be like Singapore, which has development plans until 2030. Strong institutions. Why is it that we don't have a long-term development plan, Mon?
Meron tayong 2040 na plan. Meron
Ito
tayong
yung, ano
5
yun,
years.
yung 2040. How do you call that?
Plan lang naman I'm
Ambisyon na
not
mauwi
saying-
sa bangungot pag nagkamali. Ganon.
Hindi ko sinasabing mapapatupad. Ano? Maraming plano ang mga Pilipino. Every president has a plan. Yun yung problem. 6 years lang siya.
Okay.
Yung continuity natin is not in the economic planning. Hindi doon nandun yun sa political continuity. At ito ang problem kasi yung Philippine political party system ay talagang halos non-existent. Every time na may bagong presidente, nagkakaroon siya ng ruling party. Kahit na
balimbingan ng balimbingan.
kahit na isa lang naman yung kanyang senador o tatlo yung kanyang congressman, ngayon ay ruling party.
Precisely.
The PDP laban, for example, is 140, ano?
They used
na
to meet in a
congressmen.
Volkswagen.
Mm.
In a Beetle.
Pag hindi kasi natapatan ng political reforms, yung mga economic reforms mo, nandun nga yung worry na yung continuity. Kasi sa mga developed countries, yung continuity institution dyan are the political parties. Kahit wala na, halimbawa si George Bush, may Republican pa rin dyan. The same with Clinton dito sa Democrats. The same with Europe actually.
Okay.
Nawala yung particular personality na gusto ng mga tao, and yet because there is the party, the continuity of the programs nandyan.
Okay. Now, I'd like to ask all of you before I open the floor to our colleagues from the media. Most regions are poor, whether we like it or not, because accordingly, 60% of the GDP comes from the top 3 regions in Luzon. Now, is it coincidental that poor people are in areas where there are insurgencies and separatist movements which are lorded over by political clans?
Well, the political clans are all over, ano? May insurgency man dyan, may separatist movement, may terrorism man dyan.
But people are poor.
Merong correlation sa tingin ko in terms of the internal conflict at saka yung question ng poverty. Kung maalala mo, yung palaging nami-mention nating poor region is RMM. And it's true, ano? Ang Lanao Sur, halimbawa, that's where the Marawi crisis is right now. Yan ang poorest. That's around, I think the last statistic is 68% ng tao dyan is below the poverty line. Pero Samar, hindi na rin malayo. Particular yung Eastern Northern. Yung Eastern Seaboard ng Pilipinas, yan ang NPA insurgency area. So, nandun yung, kung naghahabol ka ng correlation, nandun yung correlation. Pero pag sabi ka namang warlordism, halimbawa, o yung mga political dynasties, they're all over, including Manila and Quezon City.
Lalo na sa Quezon City. Asian perspective, man?
Well, not necessarily. Meron na rin mga pag-aaral, correlation naman ng poverty and political clans. No? Malinaw yung kung saan nagsisimula yung insurgency. Siyempre kung may kahirapan, ganyan. Pero yung poverty and political clans, meron ding mga pag-aaral na sinasabi na pag ilang dynasties na yung pamilya na yan, wala na sila masyadong pakialam kung umasenso o hindi man yung kanilang mga constituents.
Can we put it this way? That they want to keep the people poor so that come election time, 100 or 500 peso bill would suffice?
That could be one dimension.
Yes, please.
Hindi ako makahintay na sumagot kasi yun yung main research area namin sa AIM at saka sa Ateneo School of Government. All due respect to Camon, tama naman siya na yung dynasties all over, including in very fast-growing cities like Quezon City, Makati City, meron po dyang dynasty. Doon po sa pag-aaral namin, ang nakita namin, yung fat dynasty, yung main indicator of impunity. Pagka 8 na kayo, 10 na, 12, or even if you're anampatuan, you're reaching the 20 limit in terms of number of family members in power. Yan yung hindi na mabuwag, hindi na mapalitan yung mga pinuno kahit na mali na yung ginagawa. So, kung ipag-aralan po natin yung linkage nung fat dynasty at kahirapan, talagang doon po pinakamalakas yung linkage. At hindi na po correlation lang. According to our last study, which we published last year, fat dynasties cause deeper poverty. Causal na po, hindi lang correlation. At ang mga dahilan po niyan, hindi lang po dahil gusto nilang mag-destroy ng development. May iba naman na gustong paunlarin yung lugar nila eh. Pero ang issue po dyan is yung pamamalakad, hindi na nababago kahit mali na. Yun yung main issue.
Okay. I've seen IRA converted into rolling stocks. Yung internal revenue allotment na ibibili ng mga suburban dahil by mere resolution of the provincial board. Anyway, what has business got to say about dynasties? You know, there are companies run by families, right?
Pag nagbibiro kami sa business and we are really not decided federalism, ano. Yan ang pinaka-biggest joke. O yung sa 11 na ikang gagawing sino-sino kung ngayon yung federalism, sino-sino yung mananalo ron, lahat. We probably will say 3 lang yung acceptable do sa 11 because alam mo na kung sino yun eh. At on the business side, naalala mo ba yung tobacco blockade nung araw? O kung 11 yan, can you imagine what kind of blockades we will have kung ikaw yung negosyante all over the Philippines? May blockade doon, may blockade, iba-ibang klaseng tax, iba-ibang leader, iba-iba ang gusto. At paano na yung mga mahihirap na sabi nga, Samar, sino ba gusto magbitbit sa Samar na region? Sino ba gusto magbitbit sa yun ang isang issue. And I think we are open-minded about it, but that is one of the worries.
Okay. Before I open the floor to our colleagues from the media, let me ask you, Mr. Sergio Ortiz-Luis, has the ease of doing business in the Philippines improved under the Duterte administration?
Well, let's put this way. This afternoon, ako kayo magko-closing remark do sa yearly ng National Competitiveness Council, no?
I-scope na namin yan.
we analyze it, no? Whether we like it or not, no? Kahit sa grading, medyo hindi tayo masyadong umaangat. But we did, no? Masasabi naman namin doon kasi sa chamber, masasabi naman namin that we work closely together with yung mga LGUs regarding BPLS, yung business licensing, ano? Malaking improvement doon sa ano na yon. Marami pa talagang issues na yung mga LGUs, yung mga implementors, may kanya-kanyang agenda na hindi namin maintindihan hanggang ngayon kung bakit hindi masolve. For instance, napakalaking issue sa mga exporters ngayon, sa mga manufacturer, yung regulated chemicals, for instance. Napakahaba ng listahan na kailangan para ma-transport mo, para ma-import mo, para mabili mo, dadaan ka sa PNP, dadaan ka sa na kung minsan pati ba naman yung barnis, pati ba naman yung acetylene na ginagamit mo, regulated yung mga yan, to the point na i-stand yung alam naman natin, marami sabi nga namin, one instance yung joking, yung sa resort road, ba't ba nagkakagulo tungkol doon sa sunog? Pinagtatalunan ko, alam ko kung paano na-under sa pesa yung na yun yung mga
Stream,
hindi, yung fire department. Huwag sila lang magre-regulate ang PESA because nagre-reklamo yung mga locators. Pag pinuntahan sila, binebentahan lang sila ng fire extinguisher. So, total, pag nagkasunog, pumasok sila. Pero yung regulasyon, huwag naman yung bentahan ng benta. Gusto nga namin, criminalize yung pagka-empleyado ka ng magbebenta ka ng fire extinguisher. Hirap na hirap yung nakita mo nangyayari sa Valenzuela. Ang bagal-bagal ng pag-i-issue, naglagay sila mag-i-issue ng temporary lang. Nagkaroon ng problema yung mayor. Bakit? Hindi lumalabas yung mga clearances sa fire department dahil napakabagal. Ang laki ng backlog. Anong gagawin yung mga tao hindi makakatrabaho.
Okay. Very well. All right. So there you go. We'd like to open the floor to our colleagues from the media. Do I see Ron Calunsod of Kyoto? Yes, Ron.
Morning, ma'am, sir. Ron Calunsod of Kyoto News. I'd like to ask Professor Baviera, ma'am, may I please ask about your thoughts whether or not the strategy that the Philippine government, particularly the Duterte administration, took in handling the South China Sea disputes, whether directly with China or within the ASEAN context during this first year, did it do good for the Philippines or na disadvantage po tayo?
Well, it depends on what your expectations are, no? Ang isang sitwasyon kasi is when the Duterte government took over, we had just really gone through 6 years of antagonistic relations with China over this issue. Therefore, many of the people, of course, yung patriotic fever, mataas, no? Were expecting na may follow-through, definitely, dito sa issue na to, no? Lalo na nung lumabas yung arbitration award, na within the first 12 days of the Duterte government, napanalo ang Pilipinas. No? So marami talagang nagtataka, no? So bakit binitawan na yon? Bakit hindi siya priority ng government, no? So if you say, did it do good for the Philippines? Siguro ang positibo is nabawasan yung crisis dun sa relasyon natin sa China. Much less pressure, which means less pressure, especially on our security people, no? Who were always concerned na magkakaroon pa ng mas lalong lumubha yung sitwasyon with China, no? On the other hand, yung mga umaasa na, of course, legal rights, karapatan na ng Pilipinas, no? According to the tribunal, yung mangisda dyan sa lugar na yan, yung gamitin yung langis, kung ano man, explore and exploit yung resources sa ating EEZ, inaasahan pa rin ng mga tao, no? Na magkaroon ng aksyon dito, no? So maybe 1 year is really not enough to clearly state a position on this. No? Proseso yan. Lalo na whenever you talk about territory, mga disputes, mahabang proseso yan. No? So may positive meron ding mga bitin na expectations na kailangan pang panagutan ng gobyerno going forward. No? But if I may also say na nagbago na rin yung environment kasi, no? Halimbawa, yung China, meron siya mga major foreign policy initiatives, no? Yung Belt and Road Initiative na sinasabi na massive infrastructure investments. No? So, saan tayo lalagay doon? Ano yung may interest ba tayo dyan? Sa isang kabilang banda, nagbago rin ang gobyerno ng US. No? At hindi tayo nakakatiyak kung anong gustong mangyari ng US dito sa South China Sea mula nung naging party na rin sila, in effect, no? In the last few years. No? So, dahil dun sa mga bagong sitwasyon, dapat lalong pinag-aaralan pa ng gobyerno natin at ng mga taong bayan, nating lahat, no? Kung ano ba ang makakabuti, no? Pagdating dito sa South China Sea issue, no? Doon sa ganung environment.
If I may do a follow-up on that, Dr. Aileen Baviera, there was a survey which says a very low percentage of Filipinos are interested in foreign affairs because the interest of Filipinos now is how to make a living, how to get rid of traffic, and how to have better internet. How do you look at it?
That's true for all countries, di ba? Hindi naman nagbabago yan. Kahit na yung mga malalaking powers, no? US, China, Japan, hindi masyadong interesado. No? Nonetheless, kanya nga may gobyerno ka eh. No? The government should be on the lookout kung ano yung makakabuti sa inyo. No? Maaring hindi lahat ng ordinaryong tao naiintindihan yan, lalo na yung strategic implications, no? Na yung mga pagkilos natin ngayon, 20, 30 years from now, may impact pa yan, no? Doon sa yung regional environment natin o sa global environment. No?
Yes, please.
Let me just add to this a little bit of a cautionary note on our relationship with China. Kailangan din nating pag-isipan kung ano yung gini-give up ng bansa in terms of the evolving relationship with China. So, tama si Dr. Baviera na nagbago na yung geopolitical landscape. Iba-iba na yung mga pinuno, and so therefore we must recalibrate our foreign policy. Pero kung pag-iisipan natin kung ano ang nakukuha natin dun sa relationship, pauutangin tayo ng China. These are finances that we need to pay back. These are not grants to us na hindi na kailangan bayaran. Kailangan pagbayaran niya ng future generations. Pangalawa, in the areas that are disputed, there is data that there's a lot of natural resources in these areas. In one study that I read, in Reed Bank, there could be 5 to 6 times the natural gas deposit of Malampaya. Now, Malampaya is going to run out of reserves in 10 years. And Malampaya supplies up to half of the energy needs of Luzon, the entire Luzon grid. And so, kung pag-iisipan po natin, nauubos na yung energy natin at kung wala tayong ipapalit dyan, samantalang ang give up natin, 6 times, 5 times Malampaya, mahihirapan po yung economy natin na tumulak kung wala tayong maipapalit dyan. So, medyo malaki po yung cost kung hindi natin mapapalitan yun effectively.
There is also a school of thought which says there should be joint development of our resources, which may be contrary to the provisions of the Constitution. How do you look at it?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know to what extent we can proceed with that. But in my understanding of the analysis so far, from a public policy perspective, dapat mag-ingat po tayo na i-pursue yung ibang mga strategy na nawi-weaken yung ating claim. So kung meron tayong strategy na itutulak natin, it is in our interest and our future generations' interest that none of our claim actually is weakened by those new policies that we will pursue. So as long as hindi natin nagagalaw yon, kasi lamang na po tayo eh. So parang alangan naman kung yung lamang natin, i-forsake pa natin o isa-squander pa natin. Dapat tayo na yung nagdi-dictate nung ganong klaseng discussion.
Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah, ang maganda yung tanong ni Ron, no? Meron bang strategy? No? Yun siguro yung dapat natin tanongin. No? Dahil nagbabago nga yung sitwasyon, yung interest naman natin, pareho pa rin. No? So, nandyan yung resources, pero nandyan din yung maayos yung economic relations with China, lalo na sa panahon na meron tayong build. No? Sabi ko nga sa iba niya, ang problema sa build, you need money. No? So, kung kulang, kung ayaw natin mapunta sa taxation, halimbawa, na tayo magbabayad ng lahat na yan, dapat open open din tayo na magkaroon ng role yung ibang mga bansa dyan. No? So it's really balancing. No? Andun pa rin yung pangangailangan natin for resources, merong short-term as well as long-term goals tayo dapat. No? Pero yun, meron nga bang strategy? No? Yun ang tanong.
Okay. Now, I don't know. This is not necessarily putting the cart before the horse. But the point is, do you think the president and the vice president share the same vision? Would share the same strategy in dealing with our neighbors? With economic agenda? Yes, Mr. Casiple.
Well, sa presidente, marami na siyang nasabi, no? At actually, may implement na. Sa side ng vice president, we still have to hear, no? Hindi ko sinasabing may pagkukulang siya rito kasi alam mo naman yung sitwasyon ng vice presidency. You're not supposed to have your own strategy. Kaya sinasabi din ni Vice President Robredo, he wants to work closely with the president. So yung kanyang immediate pang usapin is to get on the right side of the president. Ano? Yung last interview nga sa kanya, tinanong siya kung kailan ba siya last nakipag-usap kay Presidente Duterte. At ang sabi nga niya ay yung PNPA graduation. Yung dinner hindi pa nangyayari kasi inabutan ng mga crisis.
At least nakumbida naman.
Pero nandun na. Well, in theory, you should work together. Ano? Kasi if you're the two highest officials of the land, ganun yun. Pero sabi ko nga kanina, walang modus vivendi na inabot eh. So, may mga problems areas na lumitaw. That actually led to her resignation from the cabinet. Pero mukhang hindi naman nagtuloy-tuloy. Yung mga fears dati na magkaroon ng mga impeachment, etc., nawala na yon. So what we're looking at actually is a possible modus vivendi between the two of them. If not between the opposition and the government.
All right. Dr. Baviera, I ask about the vice president and the president. In China, how would the number one differ from that of the number two? Or do they have the same program? Because whether we like it or not, they have to play up to the gallery as well. Especially the netizens.
Mahirap i-compare, no? Because China has a parallel. It's a party state. You have the Communist Party, and the number one is really the head of the party. No? And then you have the government, and the number one, supposedly, is the premier. No? Pero yung party at yung state, they always move together. No? Of course, may mga debate rin. Of course, meron ding differences, no? Lalo na sa economic policy. No? Pero nare-resolve ba lahat yon, no? Before they become public. And so far, it is not an obstacle to movement in the economy especially.
Mrs. Sergio Ortiz-Luis, I believe business doesn't care who sits in Malacanang as long as you can do business, right?
Well, not necessarily, but what we would like to have is somebody business can prosper. No? Na yung policy will be something that does not stunt business.
Okay, very well. Questions from GMA7? Looking forward, do you see President Duterte expanding martial law? What do you think is the effect of martial law on the economy and the political landscape? Any takers?
Well, first of all, we should be clear na yung martial law ni Presidente Duterte is within the context of the 87 Constitution na ang dami ng restrictions. And very clear yung pinagmulan, itong Marawi crisis at yung kanyang attempt to nip in the bud itong bagong threat sa bansa. Ibig sabihin, if you want to gauge kung hanggang saan yan, mag-expand ba yan, let's say, to Luzon, Visayas, doon mo siya titingnan. My own opinion there is, limited yan. At this point in time, yung Marawi crisis ay patapos na eh.
Okay.
It's a matter of time. Kaya naman nagtagal because of the hostages at yung fear nga na baka mag-escalate ito. At one part of that martial law strategy actually, na hindi masyadong napansin sa media, ay nagkaroon na ng mga operational na mga strategy outside of even Mindanao. Meaning may mga preemption nangyari kung nakikita lang yan, may hinuhuli diyan sa Iloilo, may gano'n, Pero ako tingin ko, limited talaga. Even from the start, yung application ng martial law. And it's not even an answer to violent extremism, even in the medium term. Kaya mahirap tingnan na tatagal ito or mag-expand ito.
Okay, very well.
Well, from an economic development perspective, it sends the wrong signal to actually prolong and increase the scope of martial law. Kasi kahit na sabihin natin na ibang klaseng martial law yan from the Marcos martial law, yung epekto niyan in terms of the perception of us by tourists, by businessmen, by investors, the rest of the world, ang unang tatanungin nila is, hindi makayanan ng mga institusyon yun na na i-put down yung mga ano na yan, mga terrorists at ano na yan, gulo na yan. Meaning weak yung mga institutions. So the first test is, kailangan ba itong i-extend? And hopefully, we don't need to extend it. If you look at all of the steps that the administration and the military seems to be pursuing right now, most of them do not need martial law actually. So kung ganito lang ang sitwasyon, at gusto mo lang palakasin yung emphasis na seryoso kami about going after you, maybe martial law was not the message you wanted to send. Maybe it was just pursuing them vigorously and actually bringing them all to justice.
Okay.
Definitely, if there is a move to extend or if there is a move to expand the scope, that may send the wrong signals to the rest of the international community, where we were trying to tell them that we are no longer the sick man of Asia, that all of those past history of the Philippines is now behind us. Na ngayon, bumabalik tayo ng konti dun sa mga same lingua, same policies, na sana hindi na natin babalikan. The second part that I want to emphasize is, our own military said that they did not need martial law to actually go after these groups. So, from my point of view, just looking at the public policy point of view, kaya naman pala eh. Medyo mas matagal lang nga ng konti, medyo mas tactical yung approach. Hindi kailangan bombahin yung city, baka less yung cost. Pero why did we not consider this? I think because really you should measure the benefits and the costs of these policies and not just go after them quickly like this.
All right.
Well, I don't think it should be extended. Neither should it be expanded. I think it serves its purpose, no? Pero in retrospect, kung hindi dineclare yung whole Mindanao, mahuhuli ba yung tatay, mahuhuli ba yung nanay, mahuhuli ba yung mga ibang hinuhuli outside pa, no? Will it be like yung mga nangyayari nung araw? The rebels will attack, and then dadating ang army, mawawala lahat, dissipate to all the neighboring provinces. Now, they're much contained there. And I guess, kung may makapuslit man doon, ilan lang siguro, no? But if he did not do that, if he did not declare martial law for the whole of Mindanao, palagay ko, the impression will be that there was something that happened to us, and yet we were not able to address it. Now, pag ito, natapos yung sa Marawi yan, nakita na nahuli halos lahat yan, or napatay lahat yung mga rebels, the message to be sent to the international community is such that sa Pilipinas, tinapos nila yan.
Okay.
At wala kayong dapat ikatakot. Tourism can now prosper. As a matter of fact, yung mga tourism natin dito sa Luzon, Visayas, hindi naman masyado na perwisyo. Doon lang sa mga, ayaw ang pansinin ng mga ibang foreigners yung mga advisory sa kanila. Dahil alam naman nila doon lang. Wala kalabala sa Marawi. So, I think it will send a definite message to the community na hindi kami kagaya ng iba riyan.
Okay.
Na pag pinasok ng terrorist, gano'n na lang.
All right. From a foreign perspective on martial law, they say the Philippines is just one of two countries na may demokrasya sa ASEAN. Puro strongmen yung nakaupo. Ano po ang tingin niyo doon sa martial law?
Akala ko strongman din yun sa atin.
Hindi, kaya nga nagtatanong lang.
Yes. No. Basically, I don't see any justification to extend or expand the scope. The sooner we lift it, the better.
All right, very well. Question from ABS-CBN. Can we have your thoughts about the assessment of at least two human rights groups about the poor identity of the Duterte administration with respect to its implementation of its war on drugs. For the second year in office, how should the President improve its campaign?
Well, yung anti-drug, kung makita mo sa survey sa mixed reception yan, no? Mataas ang level ng support hanggang ngayon sa anti-drug campaign. Ang balita on the ground, may impact talaga sa community level. Isang dalaw ko nga sa Cotabato City last month. Nagulat ako kasi Cotabato, alam mo na, 7:30 yan eh. May unofficial curfew yan. Ninenervyos ka nang lumabas. Well, I was out until 10 o'clock. Ako yung ninenervyos. Yung host ko, relax na relax. Kaya para, after nung nagkaroon ng anti-drug campaign, ang impact sa Cotabato was nag-relax yung city. Kasi nawala na yung mga tambay at yung mga incidents. 10:30 na daw ang ano nila ngayon. This is before Marawi, of course.
Before Marawi.
Meaning, na-tribute nila ito sa anti-drug campaign na yung usual mga taffy, mga tambay sa kalye, nagkawalaan yan. At lumuwag yung mga nightlife nila.
So may nightlife na sa Cotabato,
Meron.
After all.
Nagulat nga ako eh.
Hanggang Jollibee lang kami ron sa Cotabato.
Alam ko. Pero hindi lang yan Cotabato. Zamboanga, ganyan din ang impact sa kanila. So may ganon. Pero at the same time, totoo din yung lumabas sa surveys na almost the same number. May concern doon sa question ng killings. Not really EGK, masyadong technical yung word na EGK. Pero yung pang, the nature of the issue kasi personal. Open secret naman yan in every community, every family, kung sino. Kilala na kung sino yung addict, sino yung pusher.
Okay.
If somebody got killed na pusher, pero hindi nila kilala, malamang sa hindi, okay sa kanila because of the gravity nung problem na nakikita. Pag kilala nila, ang tendency is maapektuhan sila. And that reflected in the surveys na very alarmed sila doon sa killing associated with drugs.
Okay.
Well, this is another area that we've been monitoring and doing some research. I guess one of the responses there is if you look at international evidence on how to combat illegal drugs and conduct an anti-drugs campaign, mukhang ang dami na pong ibang bansa na nagsasabi na hindi po yung punitive approach lang ang kailangan nating itulak dyan. So, in fact, yung punitive approach lang, hindi siya nagwo-work. At yung Thailand, nagbago na po sila ng strategy. Yung Colombia, nagbago na po sila ng strategy. Yung Portugal, nagbago na po sila ng strategy. So in fact, ang nangyayari lang po kung medyo punitive yung approach, napupuno lang yung mga jail ninyo. Minsan, mga bata pa yung nilalagay dun sa mga jail. Some of the research says na yung jail, parang university yan ng mga drug gang. Yung bata na konting drug lang naman ang natikman niya, pag nilagay mo dun, magiging hardened criminal siya. So the gangs are actually recruiting in these jails. And if you look at our jail system, over 500% overcapacity po ang jail natin ngayon. So marami po tayong parts ng sistema na sana napagtuunan din ng pansin. Yung pong health approach sa combating drugs, treatment. Meron na po ngayong usapin na yung iba, Zumba lessons lang every Saturday ang treatment nila. Dahil kulang sa pondo, kulang sa pansin. Kailangan po ng tulong din ng gobyerno dito. Kailangan lahat tayo ay magtulungan para mapalakas pa yung parte na yun.
Okay.
At eventually, itong punitive approach, makikita natin na hindi talaga kailangan ganyang kalakas yung punitive part. Hindi po dapat nagkakaroon ng culture of impunity na may concern tayong lahat na may mga, wala naman po yatang walang concern. Pati po yung administration has expressed this. Pati po yung PNP leadership has expressed this. Kasi magte-take advantage yung mga ibang grupo na lagyan ka lang ng kartulina na you are a drug pusher or a drug dealer, pwede ka nang patayin. Hindi naman po yun ang gusto natin.
Okay. I'd like to find out, kailan seryoso ang presidente? Kailan nagbibiro? Nabanggit niya kagabi, may pinsan siyang mauti. How will that impact? Kung balatan niya yung European Union, hanggang doon na lang. May isang ambassador na tinawag siyang bayot. Ano po ba ito? Coming from someone like Mon, when is the president joking? When is he serious?
Well, he's joking when he's joking. Meaning, pag sinabi niyang nagdo-joke siya. Actually, if you're talking personalities kasi, alalahanin mo, no, he came from a tough neighborhood. Nag-mayor siya, ang tawag sa Davao was Nicaragdao. Particular ng district ito ng Agdao, ano, na parang Nicaragua na ayaw-ayaw patayan. He tamed the city. Yun yung isa sa mga gusto ng mga taga-Davao sa kanya. But of course, in the process, ang na-develop dyan na culture at bahagi siya ng ganong culture, yung toughy culture din. Streets. In fact, yung term ko sa kanyang approach, street smart approach. Hindi siya exactly ideological, for example, no, kung gusto mo intindihin siya. Kaya kung mag-joke siya, hindi mo malalaman kung joke o hindi. Kasi minsan, yung joke na akala mo joke, tinitesting niya pala yung environment. Kaya pag tinatanong ako, paano mo seryosohin yung presidente? Well, pag may ginawa na siya. Kung nagsasalita pa lang siya, don't believe him. At least not outright. Kasi malamang 3 days after, iba na yung sinasabi. Tapos sasabihin, ang context na iba na. Yun ang problem eh. Pero for him, that's an advantage kasi hindi siya mabasa. He can easily change.
Get away with it.
He can get away with it. Of course, for a president na malayo sa pagka-mayor, minsan disaster yan. Kasi alam mo naman sa international, the president is supposed to have the last word on any subject matter. Sa kanya, lumilitaw siya yung first word. Tapos hahabulin na siya nung cabinet.
Cabinet minister. Hindi namin alam yun.
Maya-maya siya na nagsasabi. Nagjo-joke lang ako. Ayun. If you're a reporter and you reported all of that, may problema ka na later. Paano mo interpret yung mga later niyang sinabi.
Precisely. So I would rather be scooped than be denied later. No?
At saka, ang mas reliable kasi na indicator ng policy, yung mismong ginawa niya, not what he says. Halimbawa, sabi niya, alisin natin yung mga special forces ng US from Mindanao. Tapos wala naman siyang ginawa. At lumitaw nga sa Marawi, doon pala yung special forces ng US. Bigla sabihin niya, hindi ko alam. Ang tanong ngayon dyan, paano na hindi niya alam, presidente siya. May explanation doon, which is yung operational question kasi yan, meron ng agreements dyan eh. The Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Armed Forces of the US. Directly naman nagano yan, kasi may agreement.
Because of
may
the war on
SOP.
terror.
Yung, halimbawa, yung mga operation against sa Busayaf, di naman necessarily alam ng presidente yung detail eh.
Okay. Dr. Baviera, you're observant of the other sovereigns, no? Ano ang tayo natin ngayon with President Duterte? Dahilan sa, sabi nga nung kaibigan natin na mayapang Senator Letty Shahani, may her soul rest in peace, you don't chew bubble gum when talking to a fellow sovereign because you are the #1 diplomat. There should be protocol.
Yeah. Siya yung elected president. No? Lahat naman ng president, tingin ko sa kahit na anong bansa, lalo na yung wala namang experience sa diplomacy, sa foreign affairs. No? May learning curve yan. No? So, kung style ng pananalita, style ng pananamit, natututunan yan over time. No? Kapag na-realize mo na hindi lang ang nire-represent mo yung mahigit 100 million na Pilipino, gusto mo naman na meron konting dignidad. No? So kaya, hindi lang naman itong presidente na to, pero kahit na yung mismo mga presidente natin in the past, may learning curve. No?
Very well.
Well, sabihin na natin ang sasabihin, no? Pero sa totoo lang, si Presidente has gained the respect even of those who used to bully us, who used to descend on us, and who used to take us for granted. And lumalabas pa nga siyang parang nung mga developing or developed countries as spokesman because yung hindi nila masabi, sinasabi niya eh. And look how did he put in place US? Even si Presidente na US, yung mga Europeans, now they're tinatanggihan na nga sila, nag-o-offer pa ngayon because in the past laging ganun ang ano sa atin. Pero ngayon, I'm very proud that pag pinag-uusapan abroad, even when we're abroad, that he is respected in spite of the way he conducts himself. And sabi nga nila, sometimes nakaka-confuse, naguguluhan, pati cabinet member din. Alam mo, kahit si Jesus Christ, sometimes when he speaks in parables, nobody understands him eh. Sabi ko nga, ang isang parable na hyperbole, parable, whatever, nung sinabi niya na, punta ako sa China, mag-jet ski ako, and I will plant the Philippine flag there, bahala na. O, meron ba nakaintindihan? Meron ba naniwala na gagawin niyang physical yun?
Nauna si Widodo, sumakay ng bangka.
Pero si Jesus Christ, yung sinabi niya, I will destroy this temple and in 3 days time, I will rise it again. Meron ba nakaintindi sa kanya? Yung sa audience niya, wala. Namatay na nga siya, tumayo siya, yung mga apostles siya, di pa rin. Pero siya, pumunta siya sa China. He went back with all he planted the flag there and he went back with how many billions?
Okay.
Yun ang maliwanag na parable sa akin.
Okay. Would you care to add?
I almost did not want to comment, but since I am the dean of a school of government and part of the things that we teach is communications in public policy, the ideal, of course, is that you will not signal incoherence. Na may sinabi ka sa umaga, tapos sa hapon, babaguhin mo yung sinabi mo. Ideally, hindi po natin dapat gawin yan. And in fact, I think those things this administration can try to mitigate. Kasi po hindi nakakatulong sa ating imahin sa iba-ibang bansa, sa international community, kung pabago-bago yung sinasabi ng ating pinakamataas na pinuno. Dahil kailangan po natin galangin yung sasabihin niya. And words do have power and they do matter. Pero on the other hand, kailangan rin po nating isipin na these are all taken in context. And of course, this is the first president from Mindanao who is a former mayor who comes from this background that is dissimilar from our other presidents. And there is something to be said about that perspective. So, ginagalang naman po natin yan at nakikita natin na mahalaga din po yun.
Yeah. And he's the only president from Lex Talionis fraternity. Okay, if that is of any value. Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, Juby de Guzman po ng Rodrigo. How would you rate the president for his first year in as Philippine president from 1 to 5? And the second question is, ano po para sa inyo ang best o bad decision na nagawa niya for his first year?
So, 1 to 5, 5 the highest, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
From 1 to 5, sir, please.
Anybody?
Si Dean muna.
Din.
Dean. Maganda yung ano mo.
Porket professor po ako eh. Ako pinang-grade ninyo. Ang tingin ko po mixed, and I just finished writing an op-ed basically describing that the administration's first year, una po, unfair na i-judge natin yung first year na lahat magagawa kagad niya. Sinabi po natin to dati kay Presidente Aquino, sinabi na rin po natin to para sa iba pang mga presidente. Ito po ay barometer lang ng direksyon. Ito po tinitingnan natin ngayon. So, number 1 yun. Number 2, mixed po eh. Kasi yung iba, mukhang tumutulak yung mga reformist against vested interests. And I gave as an example the rice policy. Alam naman po nating lahat na maraming corruption sa NFA. Alam po natin na maraming rent-seeking dyan sa agency na yan. At ang napeperwisyo po ay ang taong bayan at lalo na ang mga mahihirap. Na ang hinaharap nila, napakamahal na presyo ng pagkain at bigas in particular. So ang lumalaban po dyan si Secretary June Evasco. At nai-report po ng lahat ng media ang mga nasa other side ng laban na yon. So hindi naman po ako sa akin lang nanggagaling ito. Kung magtagumpay po yung reformist, si Secretary Evasco, makakaasa po tayo na baka magbago po yung sitwasyon sa ating food security. So in that score, I would score very high. Mukhang pinaniniwalaan ni Presidente si Secretary Evasco, pinapatulak niya yan. In the way that we economists communicated this is the single silver bullet of the administration na wala na silang kailangan gawing iba. Murahin na lang nila ang presyo ng bigas to the local levels. Alam niyo po ba na since 2009, since the rice price crisis, nagbabaan po ang presyo ng bigas ng ating mga neighbors. Tayo lang ang hindi bumaba. It got stuck at the high level. At because 60% of a poor family's budget goes to food and the majority of this goes to rice, sila talaga ang napeperwisyo itong policy nito. At hindi yan naayos ng Aquino administration, hindi yan naayos ng Arroyo administration. The Duterte administration stands a chance through Secretary Evasco to fix this.
Okay.
Scoring high. Scoring low, anti-drugs campaign, the uncertainty in our foreign policy, the uncertainty in the strategy on PPP, kasi parang binabago po ulit yung balanse. Tapos, marami po tayong concern sa G2G, government to government, o kaya ODA financed, particularly if it is Chinese loan financed. So, liyan po ay kailangan bantayan. Pero hindi ko po yan gagraduhan kaagad kasi titingnan pa lang naman po natin, merong mga warning signals. Pero
Okay.
lahat tayo dapat nakatutok.
Eh, yung only rice, bawal. Ano ba yun?
Alam mo po yung malungkot yung usapin ng Annie Rice. Alam mo po kung bakit? It is a reflection of the inequality in our country. In parts of our country, ang problema, masyado tayong maraming bigas na kinain. Kailangan magbawas ng kinakain para maging healthier. Sa ibang parte po ng ating bansa, kulang po ang pagkain ng ating mga pamilya at ng ating mga kabataan. So, yung only rice signals just the difference in the reality faced by our countrymen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. May proposal si Senator Villar na ipagbawal na yung unlimited rice sa mga restaurant. Kaya nga medyo masaya, marami nagalit. Eh, yun na nga lang ang kinakain, pagbabawal mo pa. Sabi nung ilan, dapat only conversion ang gawin ng lupa. Anyway.
Actually, malaking point na lumabas na yun. I agree completely. You cannot judge the first year kasi wala pang masyadong concluded programs or projects dyan. Ang pwede mo lang sabihin is he on the right track. Ano? Both in terms ng mga promises na sinabi niya and of course on the basis ng actual impact sa ating lipunan. Ano? Ako tingin ko kung change, which is the slogan, ano, ang gamitin mong sukatan, malaki talagang pagbabago na. Para bang isang taon na, parang 3 taon na tayong under sa kanya. Malaking contrast in fact sa panahon ni Presidente Aquino na for a time nagkaroon ng parang, hindi mo alam kung saan, ano exactly yung accomplishment. Sa akin, ang malaking mga pagbabago, yung foreign policy is one field. May agam-agam ka man sa ilang aspects niyan, merong mga hindi ganun ka-clear, medyo crudo yung ilang approaches niya, but one cannot deny na yung independent foreign policy as he implemented it, may malaking impact and most of it is positive. Not only in terms of new money coming in, yung friendship natin sa ibang bansa na unfreeze mo yung relations with China. I think the word there is normalization. Yung special relationship with the US na normalize niya. The same with China, Russia, ASEAN, Middle East countries, and so on. Malaki ding area dito yung, pero hindi pa tapos, itong peace. Kasi ongoing yung mga peace talks, unconventional yung mga process niya, pero inantay na natin ngayon, may bagong BBL. Of course, what happened in Marawi is an anomaly doon sa overall na dyan. Pero even there, may handling siya na mukhang hindi naman sasabog. The last, of course, is the economy. Basically, by doing nothing. Kasi yung existing policy dyan, sinuportahan niya, na-maintain din yung growth dyan. At we're looking forward doon sa possible impact ng build and other new policies dyan. Even the tax reform and so on. Kung ano impact talaga. Doon sa political reforms, ay naghihintay tayo dito sa itong federalism. Kung ano exactly yung kasi it's taking a back stage sa ngayon dito sa BBR in terms of priorities. Pero ongoing dyan yung mga usapan and considering na number 1 ito sa priority niya. Tingnan natin. So I would give him generally a good
Good rating. So, 2.5.
No, lampas pa. 3 3 to 4.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, please.
Sa foreign policy, sumasang-ayon din ako kay Mon. na yung sa independent foreign policy malinaw na nagkaroon ng impact, no? For a first year, no? So yung kung sa impact, yung naging strategic ulit ang Pilipinas, no, sa tingin ng ibang mga bansa. So pati sila, bumabalanse sila kung ano bang paano nila makukuha from the Philippines yung kailangan nila from their perspective. So nagkaroon tayo ng siguro mas malaking opportunity na i-craft din kung ano yung gusto natin maging relasyon dun sa mga, lalo na yung mga malalaking bansa, no? But even, Japan and others, no? So, sa akin, siguro 3.5 pa, in terms of impact, no? In terms of outcome, yun nga, dahil isang taon pa lang, hindi mo masabi kung anong resulta, no? Kasi yung sa China naman, puro pledges pa lang, puro in the pipeline, no? Yung mga pautang na yan sa infrastructure. So, hindi pa natin alam kung makikita nga natin, no, magiging smooth ba yung implementation, totoo ba yung pagsuporta ng mga bansa na to. Not just China, but others as well, no? So, ganun. Ang major disappointment ko siguro, yung pag-unify ng bansa, no? Kasi isang taon na nga, napaka-polarized pa rin ng mga tao, no? Pero bilang sila yung nasa pamahalaan, dapat mas malakas pa yung initiative nila, no? Na i-win over yung mga bumabati ko sa kanila, no? Kasi isang taon na yan, eh.
Okay. So, anong papel ng trolls? Okay. Yes, sir.
Well, ako siguro, coming from the business sector, kasi pag nag-uusap-usap kami, talaga naman feeling namin, regardless of how he behaves, the fact is he gets what we want for us. From the US, from China, from Japan, from the Europe. Kahit magbura siya araw-araw, kahit burahin niya si Obama araw-araw, as far as we're concerned, we put US in place, and we're getting what we want in terms of investment, foreign direct investment, in terms of tourism, in terms of whatever. So, doon naman so I would say that we will rate him at least 4. But
At least
if
4.
there is a term of preference last administration, I will rate him 5.
Really? Okay.
Compared to past administration, I will rate him 5.
Okay. Thank you.
Have been doing a lot to address certainly to improve the economic aspect of relations, I think people-to-people ties also. The Philippines in the South China Sea would be the lack of trust. No? Filipinos generally don't trust the Chinese government. No? So I think an improvement in people-to-people ties might do something in that regard. The other platform is multilateral, of course, ASEAN-China relations. Well, ASEAN is at a critical point, I guess, in its history. This is the 50th anniversary of the organization, and China, more than ever before, plays a very important role in the development as well as the security of the region. So I think taking the ASEAN-China relations also to the next level by addressing the key areas of disagreement, by cooperating, by improving policy coordination in economic areas. I think comprehensively, there's really much more opportunity. No? But again, as with the Philippines, the distrust also exists still between China and many ASEAN peoples.
Yes, please.
I would like to put it more specifically in terms of what specifically the Chinese government can do, which is, I think, fairly straightforward. Number one is it can stop harassing our fishermen in the disputed territories, where the recent reports actually show that fish actually in the boats of our own Filipino nationals are being taken from them. So I think this is really maliit po na bagay ito in terms of mga usapin ng mga bansa. Ito po ay mahihirap na mga tao. As a sign of goodwill, I think the Chinese government can clearly just stop that practice and build goodwill, particularly with those fishermen who are operating in that area. They are not wealthy people. They are poor people. And I think if the Chinese government took that step, it will redound to a lot more trust by Filipinos in general and by the international community as well. So that's number one, to stop that practice and actually do not harass our fishermen. Number two is if the Chinese government can be our allies in combating corruption in any of these big infrastructure projects. This is clearly an area where we need to monitor exactly how the infrastructure will be financed and exactly how they will be built for the betterment of the country. The main concern, and I think part of the fuel of the distrust right now, is if there will be a lot of kickbacks, a lot of corruption, linked to these infrastructure projects, and then later on, they will be similar to the Bataan nuclear power plant, similar to White Elephant projects in the past that did not deliver on the development impact that we wanted, and instead delivered huge loans to be paid by future generations of Filipinos. The Chinese government right now is undertaking a very well-known, massive anti-corruption campaign within China. And I believe this is redounding to more people, more of their own people trusting their government, and more of us trusting that they stand for better governance. They can actually be our allies in this, and if they do, I think there will be a lot of trust won on the Philippine side.
Well, next level means na from the previous na stressful relationship na naging normal ngayon ay magkakaroon ng closer ties. And closer ties means na yung mga problem areas will have progress, gaya ng South China Sea. And I think the next step there is within the context of the ongoing bilateral negotiations na kung saan may exploration ng mga mutual areas of interest at saka possible common projects. Dagdagan ko yun, yung usapin ng fisheries, kasi ang mukhang ang direksyon, huwag matali doon sa mga sovereignty issues, yung territorial claims. Kasi halos hindi magtitinag yan tingin ko. So, maraming areas pa like fishery agreements, including yung handling ng mga fishermen on both sides, yung mga scientific research, yung mga possible development areas, kung mayroong possibilities dyan. Sa level yan ng people-to-people actually karamihan. Of course, kung tingnan mo dyan, what I would like to see actually, which is symbolic, kung may dumating na panda rito sa Pilipinas.
May dumating na panda.
Hindi mo na kailangan pumunta ng Hong Kong, or China to. Kasi yan symbolic yan kasi ginagamit din ng Chinese government yan as
sa
the
diplomacy.
highest level of goodwill, sa mga bansang malapit talaga sa kanila. So if they agreed, actually, symbol yun ng mas mataas na level ng friendship.
Okay. Napakaganda na. Kaya mo makakarating yan. Follow up?
Wondering how does the Philippines fit in China's One Belt, One Road policy?
How will the Philippines fit?
So far, the One Belt, One Road or the Belt and Road Initiative is little understood in the Philippines, even among government agencies. No? So far, what we see from it is the bilateral cooperation projects, especially in infrastructure. No? So the roads, the railways, the bridges. I think there needs to be further study on the Belt and Road. But China itself, although this initiative first came out in 2013, has not fully explained in very specific terms what its own, well, the vision is there, but China, for instance, talks about policy coordination, docking the development programs of countries like the Philippines into its own Belt and Road Initiative. But, these are all sovereign states, so how do you how do you make them move like an orchestra? That is really not clear to many Filipinos as well as other countries as well. Can I just add also, so far we haven't mentioned the islands, artificial islands that China has built on the South China Sea. I think this is going to be a major obstacle even to implementation of Belt and Road projects down the line, because it impacts on the security perceptions of countries, of literal countries around the South China Sea. And what would be the best thing for China to do is to give security assurances that none of these features will be used, even in connection with the disputed areas, not to assert Chinese sovereignty or control, because this is also the sort of issue that will bring the other big powers into the region. Their interests are also impacted. So I think it would be wise for China to transform those features into only civilian uses, down the line also to offer it as maybe common use of the countries around the region.
Well, I just came back to attend the AIIB meeting in Jeju, Korea, and you know very well, AIIB is set up probably as an answer to ADB, IMF, where our area cannot go into unless we agree to certain conditions, no? Ito wala mga hang-ups itong na wala yung mga ecological, wala yung mga that most in our areas. And I think the Silk Road is also an answer actually in the TPP, which US backed out from, no? And I think it's a practical route for us because there are no hang-ups here also. They're just a route which we can use if we want to use, no? And I think it's really made exactly for our purposes. So I think we should benefit from that route.
Okay, thank you very much. One last question for everyone. What dark clouds do you see in the horizon for the coming years of President Duterte? Are there dark clouds, of course? Yeah.
Well, as was said earlier, we're worried. What if the president is not here anymore? What happens to what he started? No? That's one of the things that we're worried about.
So would you say that the president and the cabinet should inform the general public about his health?
No, I personally do not believe that he's really, but I'm sure a lot of people are praying that he's not healthy. But still, we are worried that who will keep it together, what he's starting, how will it will continue.
So it's the continuity.
Yes.
Okay. Please. Dark clouds in the horizon?
I don't really want to talk about dark clouds. Primarily because sayang yung position ng Pilipinas ngayon. We are in such a promising position. We can do many things that we were not able to do before. I mean, just the other day, I was speaking to some young people. When I was growing up, I was in college. We were shouldering this massive debt from the Marcos administration, and we couldn't make all of these investments. Now, the discussion is how best to make those investments, what type of modality, where to make those investments. So there's really a lot of things to look forward to. There are also discussions of deep political reforms. I know some people sort of mistrust some of the intentions for those reforms, but at least we are talking about some of these really needed reforms. There is now a stronger interest in foreign policy, perhaps even by the man on the street, because of how important this thing is now becoming in our country. So I think these are many good signals. There's a lot of noise, unfortunately. I think we can reduce the noise. But in general, I think there's so much to look forward to. And one hopes the administration has a coherent game plan that it will communicate strongly. And it also has, in its game plan, an assurance that it will be continued in some way, even by people who are not from the same political party.
Sir?
Well, I've already said something about the lack of modus vivendi between the administration and opposition. Kung magsabi kang dark cloud baka yun. Kasi hanggat hindi ma-resolve yan, every initiative, every project, every program will always be within the context of criticisms coming from the opposition. Isa yan, ano? Pwede mo rin sabihin yung masyadong matayog yung mga gusto mangyari. The change that he speaks of ay talagang kung mangyayari, we won't have the Philippines that we have before he came into the picture. He really is a transition president. At yung agam-agam dyan, kung anong after him, ano, is a valid one kasi walang continuity dahil walang political party system na ganun kalakas tayo. Even yung sinasabi ngayon ng PDP Laban that as a ruling party, they have the capability to field candidates in all positions in the 2019 election. Medyo hollow yan, ano? Alam naman natin where its members are coming from every time na may new president. Nagbabago ang ruling party. Yung ganyang klase, it's a dark cloud kasi it means continuity ng reforms, continuity ng mga project is always in question kapag nagpalit ng presidente.
Okay, thank you. Final word?
Well, para sa akin, I'm a bit concerned that the resurgence of internal security issues will also derail the economic programs. So, maganda yung mga programa, no? Pero this thing happening in Marawi, kung lalaki pa ito, then, I mean, in the past, no, parati namang peace and order, insurgency, ito yung mga nagiging obstacles then to our development before, no? So, I think peace process will have to be a big part of it, but also how to address this violent, extremist violence. No? That's one. And yung isa pa rin is, I mean, what, in terms of governance, rule of law, no, I really hope that the President will demonstrate more commitment, no, to these things. So in the approach to the war against drugs and so on. No? Kasi yung question na nga na, kagaya ng sinabi mo kanina, Philippines is known as one of the few democracies, no? Pero na-erode, no? Some of the approaches that we are taking, no? I think na-erode yun. And I think that needs reaffirmation.
Okay. Well, with that, we bring to a close our special edition. Tapos na. Okay. So, I'd like to thank everyone who took time out to be with us. Next week will be our first anniversary. So, we will have a more serious discussion on business and whether we have the platform for business. We invited some business leaders to be with us and probably some government officials. So thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you for keeping us company. It's another wonderful Wednesday Roundtable at Lido. Maraming salamat po. In Bicol, we say Diyos mabalos.